This week I picked this up and I couldn't be more proud. I'm not living the dream quite yet, but I'm definitely getting there. And the bull run basically hasn't even started, and I would love to take this community on the road with me. So in this video I would just like to speak my mind about crypto, what I expect for the next crypto bull market, the type of altcoins to look in to really make a good gain and maybe just really change your life forever. So like the video if you are as ready as I am. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn that bell notification on so you won't miss out on a thing. And let's dive into the content, man. I want to make this video a little bit more personal than just purely just going over charts, as I do that quite a lot. So what I just want to go over the things that I did and the things that I in hindsight did wrong and the things that I could do better and did better. So when I started with crypto, it was end of 2013. I bought my first Bitcoin for $400. And let me go there. Did I knew anything about crypto back then? No, I had no idea. And I think that's very comparable to a lot of people now stepping into crypto, also having no idea, right? But most people now already know more than I did back in the day. So what I did is I just bought one BTC at the end of 2013 for $400, and not long after that for $800 I sold it. If it was here or here, that I don't know exactly. But then I sold it, and I never really looked back at it. I was like, yeah, $400, man, I have $400 profit, goddamn. In the Netherlands, it's a lot of weed. Now, I wasn't good with money. So for me, it was really a lot, and I needed it. I didn't know that Bitcoin was going to hit 70K. Come on. Of course, I wouldn't have sold it if I did. But yeah, that's what it is. Then in 2017, I came back in the bull market, during the bull market, and that was during the period of the bull market where everybody knows about crypto, when it's already too late, right? You have the big peak, and that's where the retail steps in. And that's where the people that were already here say, hey, thanks for being exit liquidity. And I was that exit liquidity. I did not know anything about bull markets, bear markets. All I heard was, yo, have you seen altcoins like Digibytes? Have you seen altcoins like Stratus, like Monero, I think it was, and Verge, and that kind of stuff. And man, I've bought some altcoins, and I was looking with some friends in a living room at it in front of a big ass television, just on an exchange, refreshing all the time. Like, we did not know what we could use to do so. And it was going up and up and up, and it was like, whoa, I felt like, man, I'm making so much money right now. I made a couple of $1,000s, and for me, for someone who still $400 is like a lot, felt like, whoa, a couple of $1,000, man, this is doing it for me. But I was basically already too late. And what happened is the bear market started, but I didn't know about that. I just thought like, yeah, it's a regular dip. If you look at that period of 2017, it is... this chart is so fucking messing me up. If you look at this, it was a lot of up and down in the middle of it, at least. And then it started to really go down. And I thought, oh yeah, it's just another, regular cool off before it moves even further. So what I did is the thing that I cannot recommend anybody. But as you all have brain cells, and I back in the day did not, I took a loan. And I've put it into crypto, and it was going down very fast after that, and I lost everything, and I ended up that cycle being broker than I was when I started. So crypto can change your life, is what a lot of people say, but it could also change your life for the worse if you feel like you do not think about it very well. But there's a moral to this. It's not just my stupid, boring personal story. I can actually show you what I learned and why I am doing quite well right now, and why I expect to do very much better in the next bull run. And hopefully, a lot of people can at least skip the experience that I had to build over here, to apply it right here. Although I do think that you really have to go through a cycle to also feel it, because your emotions are the number one, that are going to mess it up for you. And I tell you, they will. But then it was 2021, and I was hanging out with more friends who were already doing well with crypto, and I started learning about it and a little bit about cycles and this and that, and I really started to pick it up and started to understand why things do certain things, why the market goes up, why the market goes down, in what kind of periods that moves, how retail behaves, how the governance tries to get involved, and etc. So in 2021, the awesome thing is, I've said this before, but I started with zero, literally less than zero, by the way, and I made 200K. And I did that over the period from, I think, like mid bull run till peak bull run, give or take, right? So that's a nice thing. I skipped all this, right? If I were here, man, I would have made way more, right? But I started somewhere here, I think. I'm not even completely sure. Nah, I started in March, January, March, somewhere. So I was already quite late to the party right there, to be honest. But I did very well for myself, because the reason why I was late with actual investing was because I was learning over here. And once I learned, like, oh shit, the cycle is already halfway, like, I started to feel like, okay, let's put some money in. So, and that's really where I started to do well. The portfolio that I had, it was one day it was 10K. I finally reached my first 10K, and I was wow, right? But in a week it was like 20, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was going like for a couple of months, and at a certain point it was sitting at 200K, and I felt like, holy fuck shit. What I did right there was also not the best, because I sold most of my positions way too late. Some I never sold. So I still have a lot of altcoins from the previous cycle that I hold right now. Some went to complete shit, like they completely died. And some are now like easily in profits again. Therefore, I have a good altcoin back at the moment. That's just leftovers from the previous bull run. And I was lucky enough to have some altcoins that are now still performing very well. So what were the mistakes that I made that I am not going to make right now? Well, in 2013-14, it was very simple. I did not know what the hell I was doing. I bought something that I didn't understand, and I sold something that I didn't understand. Therefore, the buying was stupid, because I did not know what it was. And usually when you put your money in something that you don't know what it is, there's a good chance that you won't see your money again. I was lucky that it worked out, right? On the other hand, I was like stupid that I did not know enough about Bitcoin, and therefore sold a Bitcoin at $800. So first thing I would say, if you get into the market, like, you do not have to read every white paper of every project and have to how the complete how the blocks work and how it all works on chain, and but at least know a little bit about, hey, what is crypto, why is crypto invented, what is the goal of Satoshi Nakamoto in the first place. Read the Bitcoin white paper. It's super interesting. It can be very motivational, and I think if you read it, you'll be like, wow, genius. It is actually. Start to know a little bit about why it exists. Let me put it like that. And the more you know about it, the more I think you will be convinced that it should exist. What I did in 2017-18 was coming in way too late to the party. People were already majorly euphoric. The fear and greed index was already way too high. And there's a good chart for that. Again, this was in 2017-18. The red line are the YouTube views, subscribers, people that follow crypto analysts on Twitter, etc. And that was already sitting way at the top. And as you can see right here, the blue line, that's the Bitcoin price, and the red line is the retail. The retail was sitting at the top at January 18, while Bitcoin was sitting at the top in December 16 of the year before that. So basically, and that's what we see all the time, Bitcoin tops out, and then the most retail gets in, and they are basically exit liquidity, because you see the price of Bitcoin going down, and then these people feel like, okay, fuck it, let's go away again. Too late, right? That was me. Now we were also, as you can see right here, people weren't interested in crypto. And what's especially interesting is that here we had the bottom for crypto. Here we had the FTX crash. Therefore, you see this huge spike in the interest. Other than that, though, that was very short-lived. And basically, the interest was non-existent. And even though Bitcoin started to move up, it took a long while for people to really get some interest again, which we are now finally starting to see. And, you know, if it's something like this where people get interested because the price goes up and then the interest goes down again before it goes up, I don't know. But we are starting to see some, you know, decent changes right now. The last time we had such a big spike was over here, but that was because of bad news, right? And now it's more because of the market doing well and crypto is getting picked up again by the retail. So if you do want to step in crypto, try to feel, either look at this chart, it's very simple, or try to feel like, hey, who is talking about it? Like, if everybody around you is talking about it, and if your grandmother asking, how that Bitcoin doing? Then you might feel like, okay, shit, grandma, it's time to sell. Thanks. And if people, you know, now feel like, okay, I know about it, but I don't know yet, then it's maybe a good time. So that's also the lesson that I have learned, of course. If there's no interest, it's the best time. And the more time goes by, the more crypto proves itself like, hey, it's here to stay, right? And of course, in the first cycle, yeah, that was very hard. I mean, in 2013, we went all the way to $1,000, but we came down to, I don't know what it was, like 200 or something. I think it was like 200. Less than 200. Yeah, of course, people there felt like, okay, it's dead. Like, they don't have the experience of multiple cycles, and it was all very new and speculative. And it's still speculative, but especially back then. Now, in this cycle, people feel like, oh, yeah, you know, it's just a cycle. It's just how the 4-year cycle plays out. At the end of the 4-year cycle, we top out, then we have a bottom a year later, and then we can go up again. Therefore, I feel like, hey, this is also Bitcoin's best bear market ever, price-wise, because people, they are not giving up on it anymore. So therefore, you also see diminishing returns, right? Bitcoin price won't do 100x in one cycle again, probably. But it's also because it doesn't go down that hard before that happens. That's also what I learned, you know, be there. Even like if it's a big bear market, you don't have to invest. Matter of fact, you better don't, but at least be there. Learn about it, you know. There's always something to do. Create something for yourself, whatever. And what I really learned in 2021 is, well, even way more about the cycles, because in hindsight, the top of the cycle was like fucking predictable. Every retard could have predicted that end of 2021 was going to be the top, right? Like, again, like I said, we had the top end 2013 and 2017 and 2021 every 4 years, right? And as long as that's intact, it's stupid to bet against it. So therefore, I'm still being like, hey, end of 2025, it's probably going to top out. Am I going to wait this time until exactly December 2025? No, because if this time is different, then I'm still selling too late, right? So what I also learned right here, hey, dollar cost, right? Dollar cost into the market and dollar cost out of the market. It's very simple. You can't go wrong doing that. If you were like dollar costing, let's say, if you were dollar costing this period in, no matter 3K, even 10K, right? Big difference. But still, if you dollar cost this whole period in and this whole distribution phase out, then fine, you will be fine. Will you try? Will you catch the top? No. But that's also something that you definitely should not try to time. Just as the bottom, don't do it. Okay, don't do it. You won't be able. Nobody will be able, right? But that should not be the point. The point is making an investment slowly and steady, safely, and taking it slowly and steady and safely out of the market again. Now, there are so many things that I have learned and so specific that I can make this video like an hour. But basically all the knowledge that I have built for myself is what I'm sharing on this channel, right? We can go into things way deeper because we look at Bitcoin, of course, but we can also take a look like usual at the Bitcoin dominance because everybody's interested in altcoins. But hey, Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. So in what period should you not be in the market? In what period should you be in Bitcoin? In what period should you be in altcoins? In what period should you be in stables? Those kind of things. So if you think like, hey, I can maybe learn something about that, subscribe. If you already subscribe, you already know it probably, or you already have your own experience in the market. Because it's not just that you can ride a bull market and take out of it what the bull market is going to offer you. Like in this case here, Bitcoin went from the lows of 3.5K, let's say 3K to 69K, and you could have made a good 20x out of Bitcoin right there, right? But does it mean you cannot make more than a 20x? No, of course not. I mean, you can get into altcoins, but you can also apply your strategy different, right? First be in Bitcoin, make money with that, convert it into altcoins when the Bitcoin dominance is high. Then when altcoins start to outperform Bitcoin, right? You can ride an altcoin season, as they call it. And then it's easy because you could have made 10x on Bitcoin first. And if you then pull off a 10x on altcoins, you have made 100x in a market where a 20x was provided to you. So there are many ways to do so. What I am now mainly focusing on is building a brand for myself. I love talking about this. I love whenever people comment about, man, you saved me a lot of money and now you've made me a lot of money. Like, I'm not doing that for you, but I'm happy to at least give you some insights that make you able to do so. But building my YouTube channel, I have my Patreon link down below if you want to check it out. There is a lot of valuable content right there. And in the meantime, I have been working as a KOL for projects like Seedify, like some other big launch pads, and therefore I get to know a lot of projects and connections, being in the right groups. It really helps you. And now I'm mostly making money with launch pads. I mean, this photo that I showed at the beginning of the video, this is quite, like, I love it. It's like that. Not to brag, but this is quite of an expensive car, especially for me. But I was able to do it, right? I'm not saying, hey, if you have 100K, buy a 100K car. It's stupid. But this was mainly through my vestings from pre-sales that I've been talking about a lot on my channel. I've been talking so much about Seedify, about all these launch pads, and it's such a safe way. Well, I'm not going to talk about Launchpad specific, but that's a good passive income for me. And at a certain point, I felt like, man, you know what? My portfolio can swing with so many dollars a week. Why not just take it out when it's high and buy a car? And at least, like, of course, it's worth now less than what it was when I bought it. But if I try to sell it in a year, won't make that big of a loss on it, right? It's not gone at least. But do be careful with your expenses. I mean, crypto could definitely go places, and every dollar that you spend right now could be 10 in a year or two, right? But I calculated that in for myself. Um, yeah, and I really started to learn about charts, and then since I'm now so, well, how do you say that? Mainly focus and try to specialize on launch pads. I started my own project. What do you mean? And we are doing fantastic, by the way. We are now sitting like 50x from private sale price, 40x from pre-sale price, something like that, and way above launch price. And this is sitting at a $4 million market cap. Now, there are good projects in the crypto space that are sitting below that. And sometimes I feel like, man, why are we doing so much better? And then I feel like, yeah, because I know what I'm doing right now, right? I know what I'm doing, and I really try to share that with people, and people they share the same vision. So that's really cool. That's really cool. So this is doing really well. As a founder, I cannot make promises or any predictions about what we are going to do. But let me put it like this: I'm very hopeful. I'm super confident about what we are building right here. So let me put it like that. So do check it out. What do you meme on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, whatever. And anything else? Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be very specific on the channel, like what I am doing, right? Not to say like what you should do, but I try to just look at the charts and try to stay unbiased. I've been quite biased for a long time on the channel, saying like, hey, the altcoin market doesn't really look like it's worth it against Bitcoin, and that was a great call, of course, because the dominance has been climbing, but I also feel like, hey, crypto is also an unpredictable place, and I don't want to be too specific because I will get things wrong, and I don't want to make you feel like you have to, you should do what I say or something. And unfortunately, a lot of people do that. That's also, by the way, very important, and I want to wrap it up right there. What I did completely wrong in this bull market, I was watching YouTube videos of a certain YouTube channel that was making calls like, hey, this altcoin can 100x, like that. You will see that all the time, right? And they didn't. Those were a lot of kind of altcoins where I put like 5K in and it was worth $5 a couple of months later. And therefore, I'm not gonna do that shit on the channel. I am gonna talk about specific altcoins which I think are going to do really well. If requested, I can give a very technical, unbiased price prediction based on shit, right? But I'm not just blindly gonna go like, oh, this is a gem, this is an easy 100x, because although things in crypto do 100x, it is not easy and it is not normal. It is not something you should expect, and it will get you wrecked, right? Because if 1 out of the 1,000 does 100x, congratulations, and you will hear the success stories. But there's a big chance that you will get into one of the other 999, and then it's a dangerous game. So don't rely too much on other people, on YouTubers, on whatever. Also invest in yourself by building knowledge, right? If you see an altcoin do 100x, look back at it. Go into the Telegram, Discord, whatever, scroll back, look like how did they start, what's the narrative, what's now the narrative in crypto overall, why did this happen? Right? And if you understand that, you can maybe also try to catch the next one yourself. Because, yeah, like I said, I've been in many altcoins that people say like, oh, this is going to do fantastic. And they completely failed. And then these YouTubers just don't talk about it again or be like blaming the project or whatever. But yeah, at the end of the day, people just do what YouTubers say. And that's a dangerous game, man. That's a dangerous game. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up right here. It's a very general, personal video. I don't really know what the message is right here. It's more like, hey, this is what I've done, and this is what I think I've done right and that I've done wrong. It's very compact. How do you put that? It's very short and small, not into detail. And I will get into every single detail of this in the coming videos to try to share my experience that way that you actually can try to feel it, so that you don't have to go over 3 cycles yourself to make the most out of it. All right, guys, cheers. Thanks for watching. Have a very nice day.